This is an overview about the importance and significance of Jesse Owens in the history of the Olympics. Jesse Owens was an American athlete that specialized in the sprinting aspect of track and field. He was born in September 12, 1913 in Oakland, Alabama, and unfortunately died on March 31st, 1980 in Tucson, Alabama. What makes Jesse Owens famous is his participation in the 1936 Olympics held in Berlin. The time and place of this Olympics was very interesting in the historical timeline. That's because it was only 3 years before the start of World War II, so there was tension brewing between countries. Not only that, but it was held in Germany, where Hitler was in control and accompanied the Olympics. Looking at videos of the Olympics, you can see hundreds of people raising their arms just as Nazi armies would, hailing Hitler. There were also swastikas hung just like flags everywhere around the arena. The atmosphere of the Olympics was very tense given the time and place. This Olympics was also the first Olympics to have a torchbearer at the opening of the ceremony. The purpose of this man was to run around the stadium holding a torch and to finally run up to a giant cauldron and light it on fire where it would burn for the entirety of the games. At this Olympics, Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals, all of them being unique in their own way because he was surrounded by people who looked down on Negroes and Jews. The first of his gold medals happened on the first day of the Olympics, and the event was the 100-meter dash, which is, of course, the most famous of the modern Olympic events. Everyone knows about it. When talking about Jesse Owens during this Olympics on the radio, people would compare him to deer or gazelle because that was his best event. His main competitor was his teammate Ralph Metcalfe. After running the race, Jesse Owens won, of course, with a time of 10.3 seconds, which tied the world record at the time. And the tradition for the Olympics was for the leader of the host country to congratulate the gold medal winner from each event. However, Hitler refused to congratulate Owens. Hitler said, "Do you really think I would allow myself to be photographed shaking hands with a Negro?" Hitler's show of disrespect to Owens was felt all throughout the black community in America, and it's almost like he disrespected everyone in the community by disrespecting Owens. The event stirred up the news in America, with headlines all around the country talking about the insult. This show of blatant racism helped the world see Hitler for the proud Aryan he truly was. He thought everyone who wasn't Aryan was below him. The second event Jesse Owens got a medal in was the long jump. The top competitor in the long jump was Lutz Long, who went on to receive the silver medal. Lutz Long was tall and long, built perfect for long jumping, and Hitler was hoping he would show that white people are overall better. During the beginning of the event, Jesse Owens fouled on 2 of his 3 jumps to qualify for the final round. This forced him to have to qualify on the 3rd try. Fortunately, Lutz Long gave him some advice to help him not foul. He told him to put his mark back a step so that he would not get another foul, which would make him get knocked out of the competition altogether. Using this advice, he easily qualified for the next round, with both of them neck and neck for the rest of the competition. Until the very end, Jesse Owens jumped 26 feet, which set a new record that wouldn't be beat for decades, and it was where Lutz would not be able to match the distance. After Jesse Owens won, both him and Lutz Long walked around the stadium arm in arm, showcasing brotherhood and togetherness despite race, which was extremely surprising for the time. That moment helped the public to see that Germans were people, too, capable of feelings, and it helped them humanize Lutz Long and Germany altogether. The third event was the 200-meter dash. The 200-meter dash is the second most popular sprinting event of the Olympics. Despite the majority of the crowd being German, the significance of this event was the crowd shouting Owens. Everyone cheering for him in the crowd, despite him being a Negro and the audience being mostly German, was an amazing point of the Olympics. That showed just how powerful the event is at bringing people together. He went on to shatter the 200-meter Olympic record and secure his third gold medal of the 1936 Olympic Games. After tying the 100-meter record, breaking the long jump world record, and crushing the 200-meter Olympic record, Jesse Owens was the world's most famous athlete at the time. This made Nazis extremely upset at the praise he was getting. They thought it was a scandal that a Negro had 3 gold medals. However, in America, this was a huge win for the black community to have someone like Jesse Owens get 3 gold medals for the world to see. It was a great stride in the black community. Jesse Owens was later offered many times to appear with orchestras on stage and on radio for thousands of dollars, and news sources estimated Owens would make around $100,000 once he returned to the States. After supposedly completing all of his events, the USA team made changes to their 4x100-meter race. They took out the 2 Jewish runners, which were supposed to run in the event. Jesse Owens and Ralph Metcalfe eventually replaced them. At the time, no explanations of the change was given, even though the team was projected to win without the change. Later, it was revealed that the change was because the Nazis demanded that no Jewish athletes would compete in the races. Despite hating blacks, the Nazis hated Jews even more and would rather have them run instead of the Jews, because the Jews were seen as the Nazis' main enemies at the time. Despite short notice because of the obvious changes to the 4x100-meter race, he went on to run and win the race. After running the event and obtaining his 4th gold medal, he became the first African American to win 4 gold medals in the modern Olympics. However, he was torn because he took the gold medal from the 2 Jewish runners he and Ralph Metcalfe replaced. Despite already being a great representative for the black community, he greatened the stride for them by obtaining 1 more gold medal. Even after the Olympics, Jesse makes strides publicly. After the Olympics, Jesse accepts a job as a playground instructor for underprivileged youth in Cleveland, earning $30 a week. A year later, he becomes a band leader, owner of a basketball team, and part owner in a dry cleaning business. Jesse still has school on his mind, however. In 1940, with money he earns in an exhibition race against a horse, Jesse returns to OSU to resume his studies. In 1949, the Owens family moves to Chicago, where Jesse launches a public relations company. He travels extensively, speaking on athletic competition and its ability to inspire race relations. In 1955, he is named Ambassador of Sports by President Eisenhower and tours the world promoting the virtues of amateur programs. Jesse serves as Eisenhower's personal representative to the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne, Australia. And in Jesse Owens is a very important part of American history, starting with the 1936 Berlin Games. These Olympic Games were some of the most important in modern Olympic history, showing the true colors of Germany and making strides for the black community in America and all over the world. Even after the Olympics, he made strides for all kinds of people in America, including underprivileged people. He was very productive even after the Olympics and is an important part of American history.